Hello, I'm David Dowdy, and I am excited to have Dr. Eva Imperial on the call with us today on the Business Spotlight series. And again, I'm David. I own Action Coach Lake Norman, a local business coaching and education firm here in the Lake Norman area. And again, excited to have Eva on the call. So, Eva, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and about iHealth?
Great to be with you today. iHealth is my business that I started because of the lack of transparency in healthcare cost. So you can order labs directly without a doctor's visit across the nation. So I'm here located in North Carolina. So we do have some corporate clients as well that we can help with wellness testing. And we also have, since it is colon cancer awareness month, we do have home kits where you can screen if you can't get to the doctor or if you don't have insurance. We made it affordable and convenient.
That's fantastic. And how long have you been in business now?
So 2019 is when the LLC was established, and I created our beautiful website, launched it in March, decided, okay, it's ready for the world. Let me turn it on. I think we turned it on in February of 2020, and then the world shut down
Yeah.
and nobody was going to the doctor. Their regular preventative visits. So we had to shift, and we did end up with some really cool clients to help their executives and their talent with through the COVID testing because they still had to travel and work during that time.
Mhm.
And so since I was helping our hospital rev up telehealth and virtual care, then I also was revving up the business to help businesses deal with COVID and basically be a consultant and help with that. So now we're back to wellness testing, providing affordable lab testing in the easiest manner for anybody, not just our corporate clients or medical practices.
Right. And what area do you cover? It sounds like it could be any.
We cover everywhere. Yeah, we can do pre-employment drug testing everywhere. If you're local, some people like us to come on site when they have hiring sprees, or they're hiring for a season. If they're in manufacturing, we do all kinds of wellness testing. We can customize things, and we also have a new corporate wellness program. So let's say you're an employer of a small business and you're dealing with very expensive healthcare costs and insurance cost for your group.
Yep.
The sicker your employees are, the higher your insurance cost is going to be as a small business owner or a company. And
Sure.
we can help by providing wellness testing and help tailor lectures about cholesterol or pre-diabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure, and come out and do lectures and talks to our clients that we are providing wellness testing.
Fantastic. Well, all right. So let's talk about your experience now as a business owner and some of the learnings that you've had. So you started at an interesting time, just prior to COVID and then coming through that. So if you had to do it all over again, what do you think you might do differently?
I think that I would have not waited so long. I think it's really hard to put something out there when you have some crazy idea that no one else is doing, and to make it, to just jump and go and fail fast and get told no. When I interviewed for jobs in medicine, I was very lucky. I think I chose well. I think I negotiated well. So I wasn't used to I never did sales. So I wasn't used to being told no. And I think the fear of being
Mhm.
told, we're not going to use you, or no, we already have a vendor. When I knew I set up something that could save businesses money, that could save patients money, I was afraid to tell the world about it. And now I realized I got to tell the world because healthcare is expensive. People are choosing between medicines and groceries,
Yeah.
and this is America. So it's just to go for it. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, you got to put the work in, you got to put the time in, just do it.
Absolutely. I love it. And it's not about the perfection. It's about getting better and better and better. And just, I mean, we learn by doing. and can make some improvements that way. So what have been a few of the, maybe some of that overlaps here, but some of the biggest learnings that you've had as either an owner, as an employer? Um, what are a few takeaways or highlights of your learnings there?
For as a business owner, you have to, there is not a book that tells you what you need to do step by step. And I realized I had learned a lot about labs and the cost of labs and how it affects the patients. So when I learned that I needed to just focus on something that I'm good at and that would help others, that's what drives and motivates me. So being
Awesome.
able to offer labs at a price that is cheaper than even if you use your insurance, uh, it needed to happen because people need to know their numbers. People need to address their health. In my practice, I had a lot of women who they put themselves last because they are working a job, they're managing kids, schedules, feeding everybody. They put themselves last. So I said, how can I make it easier for all patients to access and make their health better? And this is part of the reason why I have iHealth. And it was always patients over profits for me, no matter
Yeah.
what job I worked, no matter what, even as an employee of several companies' practices, I wanted to make sure that we were providing good quality service. And I applied all those things to my business.
And it's interesting you said you're talking about the numbers. It's so important to understand the numbers of your health. And the same thing applies to your business, which I think you said as well. So understanding the business and what's driving it. So there's so many misconceptions about small business ownership, for those that have never owned a business or even those that are kind of getting started.
Mhm.
What were there any misconceptions that maybe you had and how you address them now?
Absolutely. I think everyone has a side gig these days. Everyone in healthcare, everyone has some side gig business. You have
Mm,
to put the time in. A lot of people will want to jump on. They don't see the work that happens behind the scenes, that happens on the weekend. So my philosophy is with every success, and that's in graduating med school, finishing residency, all the paths that were challenging for me, there's always sacrifice. And it is what it is. But
yeah,
you have to put the hard work in. And as a business owner, you're going to have to invest in yourself and believe in yourself. And the other thing that I learned, which is really hard for me because I like to get different people's opinions, what I realized starting this business is getting advice from someone who's never owned a business, but is telling me because they went to school for business or if they haven't done it, it's I now cannot take advice from somebody who hasn't been through it. So I'm
that's
always open to listen, but if you work in the corporate world and you have a safe salary every 2 weeks, I may not be able to, I need to put that advice, which may be good advice, into a different box than the people who open their own, who risk their finances or their savings to start something that they believed in.
that's
So
gold right there. Careful who you get advice from. That's
it is. So I
bad.
had to level up and join entrepreneur groups to be in a room where people, number one, you walk into a room and these are like minded people. You have to find your circle of who's going to support you and give you good advice.
Absolutely. So, okay, so maybe that's part of, I was getting ready to ask you, what do you attribute your growth to? And that may be part of it is being in the right circles, being aware of your environment. So what else might you attribute your growth to?
I contribute my growth and the ideas and direction and strategy to the team. My team is amazing. I hire people that are smarter than me. I hire people that have different skills where I don't have those skills. I hire people that are going to push me. So it's the and we had to go through a few people to discover what it is that the business needed, what's going to be best. So I might hire somebody that I think, oh my gosh, they're great on paper. They're really excited when I meet them and talk to them and bring them into meetings. But then you have to see the actions. So if the actions don't match what your business strategy and the culture. So I believe in having fun because we already have a mission and a purpose. So I want to enjoy the people that I'm with, and I want them to tell me what I need to do different or where I messed up, or I would not be doing this interview or some of the other social and podcast events without being pushed. So I have people that say, you can do it, Eva, you got this. Or this is your dream client. We're going to set up a meeting and you're going to meet with them.
Well, you're
And
doing great on this interview, so it's great.
when you're passionate about something, I think it's important. But for me, it's about the team. They have to believe in you. So I listen to a lot of Mel Robbins, a lot of the Hormozis, and one of them said, you got to fail. It's okay to fail fast. You got to get, what if your 50 no's to your dream client? Or if you hire wrong, don't put a square peg in a round hole. You got to keep going. And we see that in healthcare offices. We see that in all types of jobs where either that person is in the wrong position or they're creating a not so great environment for the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
I want one that is fun. I want to reward them. And again, it's about the culture that I get to build because it's my business.
So, um, you've alluded to the pace that you run and all the work that needs to go in and behind the scenes work and what. So there's a balance between personal life and the work life. Is that a challenge for you, or how do you deal with that to keep it all in check?
So I am a busy working mom. I work a day job for a virtual team, which is, we're doing great work there. I have a business. I have 2 kids. What balance? So there isn't balance. So I think that to think, I I used to say work-life balance, you need work. That there will be phases where you're just in that hustle mode, and there will be phases where you feel like I need to take a break from the emails, from the so I like to travel, I like to take my dad places when we are on vacation. So you got to work hard, play hard. But I think that you can't separate work and life. Work is part of life. My kids know how hard I work for my day job and for the side business, which is a passion of mine. So it was, I should not even call it a side business. It is a running, functioning, full-time business with staff now.
Yeah.
So I actually need to take that out of my vocabulary.
This is part of the mix.
But there isn't balance. I think you have to learn how to prioritize, which the team helps me
Right.
because I have lots of ideas. I have my brain wants to create, but we can't do all the things at once as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's finding your pace and just understanding that if you have good support and if your family knows this is what I'm doing, you won't see me for the next 3 weeks because I've got a lot of stuff going on with fill in the blank.
Right.
And I think
Makes sense.
I mean, life work is part of life.
Yeah. So you mentioned your team helps you out quite a bit to execute everything you want to execute. So what are some of the qualities or characteristics you touched on it a few minutes ago, but what do you really look for in a great team member? For those that are interviewing and kind of looking to build their own teams, what do you recommend as a couple of the key characteristics that prove for success?
That's a great question. I look for someone who's teachable. I look for somebody who is positive. I try to meet with them and see how they do on meetings because they might not have skills that they recognize that they actually have, and we can tune those in.
Mhm.
So when I was working in South Carolina at a medical practice, I would be the one to either train or retrain because doctors are great people. They want to help others. What they don't realize is when you're hiring a medical assistant and you've got somebody who's gone through several medical assistants, they haven't told them what the rules are. They haven't told them what the
Mm,
expectations are. So I think if you lay those out and say, these are my goals, what where do you see yourself? So I ask my team, again, I got it from one of the business influencers. I can't remember which one,
right.
but there's a company that they say, what do you think you're good at? What do you want to do? So you're the one hiring interviewing with me, but where do you see yourself? Tell me about your skills. I don't know what experience they have or what they like and don't like to do. If you don't like to do cold calls, why would I make you do that? You'll be miserable every day.
Right.
So it's finding that teachable great person. I don't know. I feel like I'm good at I feel like I'm good at hiring
Hmm.
people. I would help when I was in private practice in South Carolina. We would get hundreds of resumes, but they'd always give it to me and let me do the first round, and then we'd get the current manager and we go through the second round, and I'd have things that I was looking for. And then
Right.
when you meet, if they're teachable, if they're good listeners, if they want to learn, if they get along with others, those are things that you need in a team. And then the
Ex-
leaders, recognize the leaders, they might not see it, but if you can coach them and make them into the good leaders, then they become your operations manager
right.
or they become your head of sales as you grow.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing that. So as we start to wind the session down here, any like if I were to ask you, man, what's a nugget? What's a word of wisdom, word of advice that you might share to a budding entrepreneur, somebody in business, or maybe somebody's kind of in a valley here in their own business? What might you share to encourage and uh, push somebody along?
Well, my business is centered around health. We're centered around wellness and knowing your numbers. So for me, one of the things I like to say is health as well. So even if you're starting a business, you have to be healthy. What you don't want to do is invest all your time, energy, and your passion, and then you're not healthy. So we have to go to the doctor. We have to make our health a priority so that you can run all over the world for meetings if that's what you do. So you can
Right.
go out and present yourself as someone healthy. We don't want you to be traveling and meeting and building a business and then you die of a heart attack. Like, get your health in check. Go and come to iHealth and get your
There
labs
you
done. But
go.
about being healthy too. So as a business owner, if you're not a healthy business owner, then you're not showing that you're a priority to your employees or to your
Mhm.
clients. So I
Yes.
think that focusing on your health is important, not just the money, not just the profit. For me, it's patience over profits. And it's building the right network and saying, I'm going to find what my passion is and I'm going to focus on that to build this business. Because if you don't have a purpose and you don't have a passion, then why are you in business? If it's to make money, it's like going into medicine to make money. That's the worst thing to do. Oh, I'm going to grow up and be a doctor and make money. I couldn't do the day job. But the fact that my business will help patients and help save money for people and help businesses save money so they can survive. That's my passion, helping others. So find your passion.
Fantastic. So, if somebody wants to get in touch with you or iHealth, what's the best way they could find you, reach out to you? What's
We are
your
on LinkedIn and it's iHLTH, iHealth. We're on the web, iHealth.org, iHLTH.org. We're on Instagram. We've got a personal page for some funny stuff and just a peek into to my life. And we also are on Instagram, and we can give you those links to that so you can
awesome?
post those.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Eva Imperial with iHealth, I really appreciate you sharing your story and the wisdom here and your path to success. And wish you many more years of success with iHealth. And it sounds like other adventures as well. Thank you again
Absolutely.
for
Thank
being
you
here.
so much. Thanks.